Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Nat Walsh. Today I have a card for you from Picket Fence Studios. The stamp set is called Nice to See You, and we're going to do a little slim line card. So this it's pretty simple in design. It's a little bit fiddly because of the small images, but we're going to have a play with it anyway. I'm using some Paper Rose Premium dye ink, which is great for Copic colouring and watercolouring as well. So that will be, it's good all-rounder. I did just stamp this down with a block. I didn't use my Misty today because by the time I came to stamp it a second time, it was just way too big. So we're going to do it old school today, and it worked out really, really well, apart from my head getting in the way a couple of times, but that's all right. I'm going to stamp the sentiment. It's got quite a few little sentiments in this stamp set, and I really, really like this script, but this one is, hey man, how you doing? So I just thought it as a nice little, haven't seen you for a long time, catch up little card. I have rubbed the stamps with my hand just to take off the last of the residue, double checking that my hand is not in the way, or not covered in ink, I should say. Just double stamping that, and there is our images. So a lot of them are pretty plain and simple. We're going to keep them that way. The most now, I have it spoken about a couple of different times about branching into some different colouring of skin. So today we're going to do that. We're going to have two new colours that I've never really played with before, and my usual. So that's going to be, I think it's fun. That's all there is to it. So the first one is my standard, which is E04, E11, E01, and E000. And I'm going to do quite a few. I'm going to do about 3. Oh, wow. The first is a set. I think the other two, we'll see. But some of these hands only have one rather than both hands. I have been a little bit AWOL the last couple of times. I haven't posted a couple of I've posted some that have been up and scheduled and ready to go. I've missed out a couple of Tuesdays. I generally post Tuesdays and Saturdays here Australian time. So in American that might be, what would that be? Either Tuesday night, Tuesday night, Saturday night, that sort of thing. So what has happened in my life? There's been a few things happening in my life, but the one main thing, I have had my beautiful niece living with me for a couple of weeks. It was just a couple of weeks, but that was all fun and games. It also meant that voiceover time wasn't exactly there wasn't a lot of them, but it's all good. It's all good. She's lovely. Also, the next thing that happened, I had to cancel my trip up north, up to New South Wales, but I will be heading up there on Monday. So that will be fun. The same day my niece moved out, my husband moved to Sydney. No. Sorry. My husband left on a business trip to Sydney, and my son moved out. Choice of words is not always the best, but choice of words. So my niece moved out, my husband flew to Sydney for the week, and my son, one of my sons, oh dear, we've reached that time in our lives where some of the kidlings, some of the manlings, because I've only got boys, some of the manlings are leaving home. I did pretty well until I had to leave him in the city. Then I may have gotten a bit weepy. I may have made him cry unintentionally, but I may have done that. Let's go back to the card for a second. So the next combination we have is E27, E25, E13, and E21. Now I coloured a little bit, just a little bit too much. I just got carried away and I sort of realised, no, that's the wrong one. So this is the next sort of combination. We'll come back to the story in a minute. All the hands I've basically coloured the same. So to hopefully try and give them that rounded look, I've left a bit of a shadow on either side. So the light source is looking down, front on, and just use a little bit of the darkest and then blending that out and so on and so forth down to my lightest color, and doing that, going over the image a couple of times just to make sure we have a decent blend. So that is my second combination. My third combination is actually going to be just 3 colors. So we've got 4 here and 4 on the last one, but the next one I have a chart that has lots of different color combinations, and I just picked one, honestly, because we're just looking at their hands. So my middle manling has moved out. He sort of had to, not that I was kicking him out. He left school to do an apprenticeship in apprentice chef, which I may have mentioned here once before if you're a seasoned visitor to my channel. Thank you. But he was traveling 2 hours either way. So it's, and he's an independent. Well, he's learning. He's very much learning. He's not quite like I was, but he's, strong-willed young man too. But he was traveling 2 hours. He would get home anywhere. If he worked the late shift, he would get home anywhere between 12 and 1 o'clock in the morning. And then if he had to be up for work again at 10 o'clock, he would probably be out the door, well, at least by 8 o'clock, if not sooner. So he sort of needed to. It was just really hard, and he's like his mama, and he doesn't do too well when he's really tired. Not good at all. So we'll come back to that in the next second again. The third combination we have is going to be E47, E44 and E42. As I said, a 3 combination. And as said before, it's just coloured all the same on each arm. The rest of the images are going to be single colours. They're super tiny, and some you can't really make out the faces or anything on quite a few of them, so we're just going to keep that colouring very, very simple. So back to the manling. So he started looking for places in the city. It's a big long story of lots of different reasons, lots of different places. But in the end, he found a little 1-bedroom studio apartment in the city, and he applied and he got it. So it works really well for young single people working in the city, so it works really well. But of course, I'm leaving him in the city, so yeah. There was a few times that, I may have dropped him at traffic lights, because where he lives there is no parking when it's peak hour. And so I may have dropped him at the traffic lights and may kept on driving and said goodbye and love you and all that sort of stuff, and then cried. But, I am mama. And I have spoken to him pretty much every day since. And today is Friday. I dropped him off on Tuesday of this week. So, he's still talking to me. Some of it may be about his fridge freezer. Some of it may be about what he needs to buy. But, I'm claiming it. Doesn't matter. So, yeah, he's doing really, really well. So that's sort of the majority of reason why that I've missed a couple of Tuesday uploads, because it's just been a little bit busy of looking at places and helping him apply for things and sort of helping him like, well, this is how you do this and this is how you do this and this is what you need and you need to speak to these people and etc, etc, etc. But I'm going to go see him tomorrow, mostly because my husband's home and he wants some more furniture. But doesn't matter, he's all good. So the next lot of things we're going to colour in are little hearts, which are just going to be the R29 is the hearts. The little smiley faces are Y13. The thing that I didn't sort of pause talking about my middle baby is doing the hair on the little people in the images. So we had C9, E55 and Y26. So as I said, pretty straightforward. The t-shirts on the little people that we're currently doing, I decided to go for a rainbow feel. So we've got R24, YR15, Y04, G24, B45 and V15. I just basically picked some colours in the rainbow that roughly had similar numbers. So we've got a range from a 4 to 2 or 5, 4 or 5, and that's it. The background we're going to do is a little bit later on. We've got some cardstock. Oh, here we go. Here is the background. The backgrounds we had just, again, simple, straightforward. VR93, I don't know what I'm thinking, BG11 and B01, and basically I just wanted to keep it nice and light for those colors. So I've got a little bit of cardstock from my stash here that we are going to trim down. I'm going to mark, I don't tend to measure too much, but I've marked out, my battery died, but what you didn't see is I marked out how big I wanted everything, and then we trimmed it down with my cutter. So this is a Sharpie marker, and I'm just using the ruler and giving it a tiny little bit of a border around it. And I'm not, this is not measured. It's I can't tell you in inches, but in the Australian and metric people, it's just like 0.2 of a centimetre. No, I don't even think it would be that. 0.1, 1.5, something around that area. So it's a really, really tiny little measurement. I wouldn't even say it was probably like 1/16 of an inch. I'm going to layer this up with a bit of foam, which is quite usual. Just make sure I've got my margins all nice, and then we pull off all of the backing. This now is going to be glued down flat, and I ummed about what to do next because I felt like it needed something. I tried some Picket Fence little pearls. They are really pretty. They have like one side is one color and the other side is another color, but in the end I just went for the clear. Now I was going to leave that in, just me trying to figure out, but the video was getting a little bit too long, and so I opted to trim that down, just so you know that I'm really bad. I don't pre-plan these things. I really should, but at the moment I don't. We just winging it, and that's fine. I'm just going through and trying to find some small little drops and play with them and trying to figure out where on earth am I going to put these little panels. So it's not simply a matter and I'm throwing my thing around. So yeah, throwing my tools around. When you try and do these videos late at night while there's still nobody much yelling and screaming. Yelling and screaming is not too much, but my family's loud, so So I put that down with a little bit of multi-matte medium and then going through with a bit of Stardust Stickles. I just felt it needed something else, just a little something. And that's my card. I do hope you like it. I do hope you are well. Thank you for spending a little bit of time with me. I really appreciate it. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe to my channel. Hit the like button, and that will help me out great.